Hello everyone, and welcome back to part 5 of the EvaPod build. Today we're going to work on some light boxes, getting some light boxes built for the console area and all that stuff, so let's take a look. Hello, here's a little update. I started doing the light boxes in here. I took, 2.5 millimeter stripping and stacked it on top of each other. You know, did cut them and then glued them like side by side. But that was, I was able to flex it in between these key points for the walls to go in, little pegs for the walls. So I was able to just flex it in there, and then I just built a edge in the back just to give something for, you know, something plastic to sit on and glue onto. So I just put a piece in there. Then I was able to actually cut them kind of long. I did the outside first, and then I did these insides. I could cut them long and just trim them. They fit in there perfectly. Then I put a wall here and a wall here for this light box, which I'll have to make a notch and seal because I have this little piece here that goes here. I haven't even seen what it looks like. So it's pretty visible. I want to see how to paint that up. But what I gotta do is just whatever box I do, I can see it'll clear real fine. So I just gotta cut a little square notch so this can go down in. And then we can seal it with like some tulip or something like that. But I got this cut. I just kind of found a odd shape because this thing's been trimmed, and kind of did this, drew a pencil line, trimmed that out, and that was able to let this piece fit down in better. And then I flipped it over and just traced this curve on the one side and just cut it out. And now that I have one, this one fits. And then it being black, it's already light blocked. But yeah, so that works out. But now we have this one. All we have to do is just cut this exact same one, and it flips over on the other side and works just fine. Alright, but I just wanted to give you a heads up on where that is. This is the ones that we have a close quarter. We'll actually, I think, glue the LEDs on the back of these. This one's pretty easy. It's just going to be a square. But like I said, we just got to make that notch, measure up, get these light boxes on, and then we'll start on these. I'm not sure if I'm going to do separate box for these here. I know I got to divide this because I'm going to see about doing flickering. If I don't do flickering, I'll leave it all open. But I think I want to do flickering, and it's so they have their own sources. So I'm going to need a divider to block the flickering from one to go into the other. And then it's going to need to be a whole square that goes around. And there's a lot of buttons around this. So, or do I make one box and then it has this dividing wall in the box? So it's just one box that glues on here. Because otherwise I got to build boxes that go around that box. I think it'd be better if I just do one box, and then these can just be one box. They're going to be one light source. So, here we are. I got these two bottom panels painted out. Got all this light blocked with some black. And, but yeah, then we got these two panels that are going to close on either side here. So that's gonna, and then we just gotta figure out how much we gotta grind a little more on this, and then I'll touch that up with some light gray, although the gray I used is pretty close to what the plastic is. It's almost hard to tell. But we'll just brush on some gray there, just I don't know, you won't see it, but yeah, I looked in there and I had a piece that was just needed a trimming to get it kind of square. Kind of square. I wasn't really worried about it, and it's a little bit oversized, but that's okay too. But it fits in there nicely. So that'll be what that looks like. And I'm wondering if this cut wheel might just happen to be the right thickness. Oh, it is. It is like 2mm thick blade. So let's use that. Take the sanding wheel off. Move that out of the way. Alright. I love this little cutting wheel. It's like a little saw blade on a post. And it works really good. Make sure my finger not under there. Go a little wide to give it some wiggle room. Now, just like any round blade, you're going to have that curvature, that little arc. It won't be much because this is very thin, but you can just go in here and swoop those edges. Now the question is, yeah, you can see this was a scrap piece. I was testing something. I think I was testing the zinc, the galvanized tin. With a clear on the NX1 to see how it would, you know, dull it down. That's what it was. So this should, well, we need to clean it up in there. Which then we can just take a file. Clean up. It's almost too tight. Looks like I gotta go a little wider. I can do with the. I'm gonna cheat it this way. Definitely too tight down here, and we'll cheat it a little bit. Actually, it's best to cheat it a little ways each way. And this file has teeth on one side and none on the other, which works great when you don't want to dig into a corner, but you want to. But if you need to, you can. And I think we're going to have to keep chewing at it, but that's okay. We'll make a nice snug fit. So I got to cut a little bit of the bottom because it wants to go that way, but it's a little tight. And we can already look at what light leak we have. Not bad. I mean, in this area right here where we thought. And right there. If it would just hold its ass together, wouldn't be that bad. There's areas we gotta paint a little better. I'll just funk some whatchamacallit in there. We'll have to paint the edges a little more because I scratched it and stuff, but nope, I'm really happy with that. Yep. And I gotta see if I'm gonna got all here? So I got a bunch of these, and I got a bunch of these males that I can solder into the breadboard, so I'll probably run this out, and that way we can plug them in. Just to look a little more professional. Alright, look at that. I got this center one on, soldered to the other one. Let's take a look. Oh yeah, that's looking good. See if I can tilt it to you. Yeah, that's looking good. That shouldn't be too bad, and once we get that all squished down in, we'll get rid of some of all that light leak. Then we gotta close all that up too. And then we'll tulip all the seams. So, nice. But I figured I'd give you a quick update on that. Show you how, actually really happy with how that lit up. Here we are. I went through and painted some of the areas black. I took my Dremel with the little brown, the small barrel, and went through and cleaned up these edges so it was, more uniform and looked nice. I overcut it just because I knew I could do that later once it was glued down. I'd give it a lip for the glue to set instead of just dripping down. So I went through and sanded that, and then ran a coat of paint. Tried to dab it in the corners, did all around. Didn't do right here yet because I got some pieces to glue on because I got this panel here glued in. I don't know how much that was a good idea to do that right away, but I just figured I'd get that put in so I can actually light block it. So it's glued in now and painted up, so we can cut a piece already out of a scrap. Doesn't need to be anything pretty. We can just put that right there. We'll never see underneath there. Glue that there. That way we can paint it and then seal it up with some tulip. And then I need to trim one in the front. And then the edges are pretty tight, so I can just squeeze a little tulip in there and we'll be good. So we can put a bead on this edge. Some of this extra thin. You'll see it absorbing right into it right away. But it finds all the cracks and crevices. I'll seal that up really good. It's more than enough, it's just a light blocker. Now we got to cut a little piece in the front. Once we do that, we can paint the rest of that just to make it look good. There's no, I mean, this is black styrene, so it doesn't really need to be painted, but just, it's all just for myself to know it looks good under there. Can I mark this? I should have got a pen ready before. Those caps don't like to come off. I can just go right off of this. There we go. Hard to see in this light, especially with a red pen on black. wants to move. Alright. Let's do a dry test first. Much better. Yeah. And it blocks everything perfectly. It won't be seen. So, no. This would be the best way to glue that. See if I can get some glue carefully with this. Good. Nice. Probably should try to come in this way. Beautiful. That worked great. So that gives us, that closes the bigger gaps so we don't have to try to fill. And that's why I keep these little scrap pieces. It's useful for something silly like that. Oh, let's get a little bit of this in there too, to make sure we got a good glue joint. That's all you need. Yeah, and to check power, I might have an easier way to do that. Yeah, I should be able to stick one of these or do a half. You know, one time I had no. They're all females. So stick one of these on that has the prongs. And I should be able to, if you line them up correctly. Yeah, those grab onto those. There we go. I was like, how am I going to get power to them? Well, yeah, I can just put the other end on there that has the solder points that you solder to a circuit board or a breadboard, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to use a breadboard on the on this part here. I'm going to attach a breadboard here, because this would be like that. And then this can come in and plug in. And I'm going to have different circuits. So the main power is going to come into the base, but then it's going to get spread across 4 switches. I'm going to have a switch for the red lights that are the 3 in the ceiling, caution door, and these. So the door and the ceiling light will come on. Then I'm going to have another switch to turn on the buttons. Then I'm going to have a switch to turn on the displays. And then a switch for the outside headlights. So, alright, but I see, for the most part, let me turn this light off. Sorry if it gets too dark. Everything's working. Yeah, I still see like little spots there. And this is when you move around, and we still have to fully paint. And there's definitely there, which I'll hit with the fill. and where we made notches. There's a corner one there where we made notches for the wiring come through. We knew those would have holes, so we got to clear those up so we don't have under the dash lighting. And that definitely sealed that up so we don't have so much to do in the front around that. Definitely clear up some, that one's got an issue there, but all in all, it lights up everything. And running that bigger strip that just made it and had to fold it down, and I folded 2 LEDs so they're actually angling this way and this way instead of up, you know. Really filled in those buttons, so that came out great. Everything's lit up nice and even, pretty much. A little, maybe a dark spot there, maybe in that corner there, but I'm very happy with it. So, well, while this is going, let's try some. I think this is the bottle I had open. I don't use this all the time, but let's try it on this. Like, I bought 2 bottles on Amazon, I think, and why not? So far, it is working wonderfully. Because it's thick, it works like, it's like putting a little weld. Now, I don't know if I can brush areas. But being that it's black, it definitely light blocks. Try to get to the more obvious ones. Without making a mess. Oh, come on. This is acrylic base. I don't even know. It's working good. I'll tell you what. Sealed all that up. I probably want to take it like a toothpick here and squish it around a little better. Go. You know it's going to stay there, that's the thing. That's what it's supposed to do, it's its job. Looking for other bigger leaks. Most of that's just painting. Okay. What do we got back here? Yeah, we got something back here. Get that in there, it seals it. There we go. Leaking light. From up top. Probably leaking from where the top meets the wall. Let's see if I can put a pile in there and get it squished up that way. Would tool up in it, wouldn't matter. This plate is a little bigger than what the walls are. Alright, I think for the most part, getting a little something here. And I might not have to go crazy, because with all the things going on in this ship, I'm not getting anything massive. So I might let whatever's going on. And goodbye. So that works perfect for me. I am most happy. Got the control panel in, light blocked. This part is pretty much done except for the displays. It should be on a different circuit, and then we got to get building these walls back here too. Those are important. But I got a lot of light boxes to build for these sidewalls, and that's what I'm going to be up to next. So, okay, everybody, welcome back to an update. I started to do. We're working on these panels, getting these light boxes. So what I did to make a template is I just laid some tape down and traced out what I wanted. Now I know I put the one half of this piece together. I think it's this one here. There it is. And then I traced a line to where this comes down. And then where this plugs into the main part of the console, you can see where this is notched up. But I did stick it in there and draw a line so I can kind of see. But I don't see how these buttons are like right on the line. They're, you know, those little not indents where they tried to thin them out for the buttons to get light. So I'm actually going to cut the styrene all the way down a little bigger, and then when I glue this in, then I'll cap the bottoms with a smaller piece of styrene once it's a permanent thing. So I'm going to keep the styrene a little long that way until I can see how it's going to want to fit, and then I'll cut as needed. Hopefully it'll be easy to do. But then I transferred that over onto some styrene over here. Put it down there, trace, and now I'm cutting. I cut one little piece off already. And that gives me my template. And then I can use this template, flip it upside down, and it should work for the other side, in theory. So we'll find out. When you're cutting styrene, all you have to do is give a good score. Just 2 or 3 passes, depending on the thickness of the styrene. I should have probably went with a third pass. There it goes. Usually I like to do 3 passes. Gives you a better edge. And now we just got to remove that one. And then we'll test fit. See if we got what we're looking for. And I do have a cutting pad under here. There's a hopefully that should be that. And in a nutshell, it is. But the true test is in here. Oh yeah, that works great. There we go. The only reason I came really far down there is because where I went really far past there and scored that. And that's going to want to continue. Close enough. Let's start hacking. A lot of times it's better with you. Still going to get some of it. You do want to cut just a hair past everything. It's just too small. Just keep flexing it eventually. There it goes. Nice little end here. I might have to cut. There it goes. Well, that cut doesn't go all the way through, so good enough. That piece of styrene lasted me a long time, so. And you can cut them with scissors too. I didn't even think about that. The styrene here is thin enough you can, you know, get a good pair of scissors like this. These here, you can actually cut it out in scissors and cut circles. And like paper. Yeah. I can just take this right off. Alright, let's see how this one made out. Okay, please excuse the AC running, but I cut the monitors out on here, and what I did, I got all these pieces cut out with them being able to, this one has to be down a little bit for this part. Let's say it's this part. It's actually, I think, this part. But we got that where that all fits in there nice and good. You can have that because there's no real light behind there. So that works. I got the ones in for these. Like I said, I got all the ones that go. This one goes in here. This one goes here. And as you see, once it be able to get the displays through. And all I did is lined it up back there and just traced from the inside. And it got me this, which you probably won't be able to see on camera, but there's 2 squares there. And I'm going to cut those out. Because I think what we're going to do, and in these here I haven't done the backs, the light blocking, made the bottom for the box. And that's what these all are, they're the bottoms. These are all going to set up a little bit with walls. And then the LEDs are going to be, just like we did with this. These here, it's impossible to actually build the box on here and then put it on, because if you see, this has this real big edge and these tabs, which means you'd have to have your box wall going right over the buttons. Now this actually even goes over the buttons. I grinded this edge. You can see it's a little bit lower than that edge. I grinded that down so you could get this little bit of a light in that button there. And then I actually ground these tabs. I ground the insides in that way and that way, so it show a little more of that button, the top part of this. Alright, so yeah, we got to do the same thing with this piece, is to cut these square notches out. Now I'm just going to show you how to cut a square hole in the center of styrene. So what you can do is get the right light where I can see. It's just a red Sharpie on black plastic, which only kind of reflects. And I could have made this one big long square box, but I'll show you and explain what I'm going to do. You'll see why I didn't just cut one big notch out. And these are going to be flickering bulbs or regular LEDs. I'm not sure, 5mm to do these displays, and they're going to be a deeper box, where the LED strips can be a little closer. But these I want to set back far so that the focus point hits most of the screen. And for doing these square holes in the middle of a, floating out there in the middle of nowhere, you want to make sure you cut a little deeper than normal, and you'll see why. But yeah, I figure I'd just keep that dividing wall right here so I don't get bleed through between the monitors. So these, I didn't cut the other one deep enough, and then it fought me. These don't have to be exact like them, it's just the better we have a straight up and down. And technically I could have left this here and just made, that's what I really should have done, and probably still can, is just build the walls around here and then drill. Yeah, why did I mean, I can slide and then put a cap over the top. I think that's what I was thinking. Well, that's okay, because this allows me to work on these individually. And then I can... let's get up. These are going to be deeper, that's why. that's why. If it's going to be shallow as the if these were going to be as shallow as the rest of it, the rest of it's going to sit down, and then these are going to pop up a little higher. So that's why. But what you do here, you get the outside your actual box scored, and then you just make an X in the box. You don't have to use a ruler, but it just makes the job a little easier. So you know your knife ain't going all over the place. And you want to get a good, real good cut on these. These need to break first. So you want to get a good cut on the X, more than anything. You can probably do the other edges just like normal scoring. These you actually want to almost cut all the way through. So it's easier, as you're going to see when I show you in a sec. This is how you get square holes in the middle of styrene. Because then you just push them in until you find one that wants to break. And there you get this opening like that. And then you're only snapping that one line. Okay. And there's your square hole. And then you also get a lot of triangles. I didn't score the other one very well. I better go back and score that one. Yeah, just push until you feel one break, or a couple. But it's better if you can get a single one though. Once you get that one, there you go. Making square holes like a breeze. Okay, I got some light boxes going. These are, what are these two? These are for here. They go, I guess this one would be like that, but on this side. That's the same thing here. I'm gonna this one here I haven't notched out yet, but when this goes together, in order to keep this down, I drew a line for where the other piece sits like that, because we gotta clear that, and then we gotta clear this too. So this one I actually already marked and notched. I had to actually put. I have to do it to this one as well. I actually put a notch in it, so that it will fit like that. And that's why I cut these bottom pieces a little bigger down to that point, so I can have a good, and then I'm clear, just clearing, so we'll have to check. I can notch a little more. It's more that it needs to shift that way. So I usually start off with the quick set, to tack everything, and then I'll run with the other one around to give it a little more strength. These are the little light boxes actually going to go in those parts, that the tower parts in the back here, the consoles. I think this one will be right about here. Now I know some people will cut this out to make a bigger box. I think I'm going to try this before I do that. If not, I can go that route. Because I also made these not thinking the clear parts were going in the inside, forgetting. So hopefully they fit the clear part. I can always take another piece of styrene and glue it to the edge here to have it cover, to glue this right to the clear part is what I'm hoping. And then install it as a whole. And then the box, I think I'm going to run two 3mm instead of one 5mm. I think two little 3mm, and I'll try to dim them down a little bit. Okay, but that's basically it. I'm just taking I'll I'm thinking that 6mm is going to give me the distance it worked on this. Actually, this is a hair less. If you actually put this in there, because I used 2.5mm strips glued together to get that height. So now we're working on the ones with the TV monitors, and the way that this is going to work, I think that's the back, is we're going to actually put, I think I'm going to run solid one across, and then put 3 little bars right in there. But I'm designing this where this can be here. That'll light block the monitors from the rest of the lights around here, and vice versa. And this will sit on top. Then on the other side, I'm going to build another light box. I think I'm going to go 6mm as well. I'll have to see. Even if another 2.5, I could even run the thin strip if that's enough. I don't know if that's going to give me a... I mean, it gives me pretty much a light bulb height. Yeah, and it'll only have that thickness there. Yeah, I would like them a little higher, so I'll do another 6mm. I think these are 6.3. I'll do that on top as well. I forgot it's going to be a 5mm bulb, because that's the flickering ones that I have. So it's going to be as simple as start making a box, or a square, or a rectangle technically. This can be, where's my scissors? This don't have to be pretty as far as the exact length. I'm cutting a little bigger because I'd rather go big than small. I can always trim. Let's give it a quick set. Yeah, we're not going with that. Get where I can. Like I said, it sets up pretty quick. Still push it down this way a little bit. Which is good. I think when we get these sides first, I'm thinking. And then just cap the ends and then put a center one in. Or do we put a center one in there first? That might be a good idea. And then do a T and then cap the ends. It didn't mark. Just trying to do this where I can still see everything. The problem is markers dry out when they're not constantly being used. There we go. Try to cut this as square as possible. The more square, the better. I love when you lift out of there and you flick the glue off of it. Well, that looks pretty straight enough. Just go back and reinforce both. Now we just take this, get rid of that nasty bend. Cut a little outside the line, make sure I have enough. So like I said, I can always trim. Perfect square, but I'll hopefully at least light block everything. There we go, and then we got the box for that. Looks like a little window. Window frame. Doesn't need to be overly pretty. I might, when it sets, grind this here because this gets really close. Is it this part? Yeah. Now let's get these longer pieces, or these side pieces done. And then we're going to have to go and notch everyone. Is that one? Yeah, because it's just these, doing the sides on one of these bigger pieces takes up a strip. Alright, so we might have to do a little trimming right on this box right now. I could probably do with this wheel. way it can light block, act as a wall to cover that corner. Yep, and that's what it's going to have to do. Get this end correct. And boy, that's why I put the paper towel here, so whatever flows over doesn't ruin my mat. Yeah, and that made a nice bond. There we go. Always so much easier to attack this side first. Alright, last little piece. We're gonna get it in there. I can always do that. Or can I get this in here now? We need to grind you back. And hopefully you're set. Might be a little tough. Hopefully we didn't cause too much damage there. No, it actually went pretty smooth. Oh, I think we got something here. Yep. There we go. Now the issue is we're going to have to grind all that down for the for it to fit down over this. But that's basically it, and then we just build this same box up on top and then put a lid on it and drill holes for our monitors for, you know, 5mm hole for our bulbs. That's really all that's going to happen. So this box is just going to be up here, and then we're just going to put one big lid across it. Since it's one rectangle, we'll put one with a hole in the center for the LEDs. But that's basically what we're going to do. We're going to do the same thing on this side as we did on this side, and like I said, all I'm going to do up here is build another one of these boxes, and then we'll eventually cap. So I figured I'd just show you a little bit about the light boxes I'm building here. So okay, welcome back. Show you some things that we got going on here a little further. Actually made a light box back here for the monitors for in here, and that came out really well. What I did is took a piece of tape and stuck it on the back here, sticky side down, just stuck it on there, and then came in here with a Sharpie and then drew the arch, and then that gave me an arch, and then I just stuck it down onto the piece of styrene and then cut it out. Now this one here had a slight more of a curve, and I didn't have like something nice like this to actually do it, so I just used the same template and then just filed a little more in the center so it sat down a little better, and it came out really good. And that way, because there's a slight curve to this thing, so that gave me a nice tight. So I'm just going to go in there and hit it with some of the tulip, because there is some little gaps, nothing major. And I don't even know if I'm going to paint in here silver or white to reflect the light, because I think I don't want the monitors to be overbearing, since they are going to be in an LED this far away. These I did. I mean, they're white styrene and then whatever silver splattered in there. And I did tape them off when I did the black. But yeah, we're ready to put the displays in there. And then we can close this up, drill a hole, and put these LEDs in. And these are going to be on a separate circuit. These and the other 4 monitors. They're going to be on a separate circuit. These are all in one. So, but that's pretty much where we're at. Like I said, I'm ready to put LEDs in the light boxes today, because these are all dry. I sprayed the black last night and the silver. The silver dries quick. This black is tacky. And then I got these 2. I pulled off the masking, so we get light through them really nice. Yeah, that's going to look nice. So that's good. This one here looks good. Yeah, I peeled the mask off for that, and we can put the photo etch. We got to color it first, and then put the photo etch piece down. And that's simple for this. And then I got to color these clear pieces red, and put their light boxes, which are these, and I'm not sure if I'm going to remember which one's what, or if it even matters. Yeah, I guess either one will work, but we'll see. I'll make them retro. I think I'm going to have them attach right to the clear part, and since the clear part is probably going to be a little bigger than this box, I'll run another piece of styrene on the outside here so it slides over and then boxes the clear part. But yeah, these are getting ready. That photo etch piece really adds another little piece of detail there, so we can start painting these parts up. I can start painting the switches. We can get the there's a grip that goes in there. Piece of hair. There's a grip that goes in here, but first we'll paint those switches. I don't know if I'm going to do them gun steel or I should do them silver. I think I'll do them silver. If they're like normal toggles, they should be metal looking. But these I'm going to cure a little more because they were really wet yesterday. They're much better now. And then on this piece, on the top, I did a black so it's pre-shaded. Glued the greeblies in. There's this piece, and that piece that you have to glue in. There is a grip that goes somewhere in here. Oh, right there. That we'll wait till later because that's going to be, I think I'm going to do that gun steel, which will look like a black. It'll have a little bit of a shine to it. But I'm hoping this pre-shading with the black will work good, and then then I'll do the red, and maybe I'll do a shade off, shade darker red in spots too or something. But yeah, that's going to be cool. Coming along, I'm very happy. You know, this is the major part right here is the interior, all this switches, and I made it even more complex with actually doing button decals, which felt like it took forever. But yeah, now we're getting close to the interior being done. That's why I was like, oh, I better start getting the ceiling prepped and
stuff like that.
all right, yeah, that's where we're at. So, till next time, thanks for watching.